Hey Diamonds, my name is Amanda Byrne. For those of you who do not know me, first of all, thank you for understanding and taking a video rather than a live call. I had an emergency come up this afternoon, so I'm sorry. I much prefer being on a live call with you, but this is going to have to do for today. I am going to talk about team culture and sustainability because when I asked you guys the other day, excuse me, when I asked you guys the other day what you needed help with or what questions I could answer or what I could do a training on, sustainability was a common theme. A couple people asked how to build a sustainable team, how to create sustainability in your downline, how to keep people excited, all of those things. And so while I am not perfect at this, please understand that, I do think that Lindsay and I have created a really good team culture within our team that I mean, there's always room for improvement. There's always room for growth. That's actually something I'll talk about. But I think keeping people there really has nothing to do with the business sometimes. And it has to do with that culture piece and like, what do you want to stand for? What do you want your team to stand for? When you're standing up on that stage one day and you're speaking to a crowd of newer coaches, what do you want to be able to say about your team, about what you did to keep people excited and keep people there? It's not going to be telling your coaches to invite 20 people a day. It's not going to be like these businessy things. It's going to be culture. Now, this is the businessy things will fall into this, but it's not going to be the like main thing, in my opinion. So it was so funny. So I asked you guys that question. I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about team culture for sustainability. And then I got on a call with Allie Upham. So a lot of you probably know Allie Upham, especially if you're in Christina's like direct downline and you were at her leadership retreat. She had Allie speak. Allie's been a coach as long as Christina. Allie looks up to Christina. They've done a lot of things together, a lot of trainings. And if you know Allie, her energy is so contagious. And she did a call on team culture. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, God, I hear you. This is what we're supposed to talk about. So I had already taken some notes, but I'm also going to share some of the notes from her. And then I'll also share the call from her because I think it was just so good. And my energy doesn't match Allie's energy. And so you do need to hear directly from her. So I will share that call with you as well in the comments of this video. So make sure to look for that because you're going to want to listen. So some of the things that I was thinking about and like with Lindsay and I, for those of you that do not know, Lindsay Gray and I, Lindsay's been a coach 9 years. I've been a coach 8.5 years. We've basically run our teams together from like day one for the last 8.5 years. And we've gone through our growing seasons with that and have figured things out. And I feel like right now, what's really working for us is a few things. I think the number one thing that's working for us is we have a large team thread. We have a couple threads, message threads. We have one large team thread where we really lean on each other, ask questions, share trainings, share support, all of that in this like large 2022 coach thread. Like that's what it's called. And any coach that is added to the team is added to that thread. And sometimes it's just sharing excitement and support for each other. Other times it's like, I'm struggling, help me. Other times it's like, okay, Fire and Flow launch is coming. What do we need to do? Who wants to do this? Who wants to do this? Okay. But then we also have a couple other threads. So Lindsay has some like with her newer coaches. I have one with my newer coaches. So we kind of do that piece separately so that they get all the stuff directly from the person they enrolled with. But then we also have like kind of like an upcoming leaders thread, I guess I would call it. And our team is very mindset focused. We love God, we love spirituality, we are very focused on the mindset, and we host monthly mindset master classes that to help people just overcome those thoughts and overcome the things that are holding them back. And so we have kind of a smaller message thread for those who are kind of in that same leadership mindset, and wanting to like lead these mindset calls and help their team with their mindset. Basically, it's our upcoming leaders. What other threads do we have? I feel like we have more, but then I think outside of threads, one-on-one, not just messaging, but either getting on a Zoom call or even better, getting in person, one-on-one with your coaches. That can at times be difficult. I live in a different state than the majority of my coaches. I live in Colorado. The majority of my team lives in Chicago. But about a month ago, whenever Super Weekend was, I think it was exactly about a month ago, one of my leaders came out here to go to Super Weekend with me here in Denver. And we have known each other since college. She's been a coach for 7.5 years. And we have never once had one-on-one time together. And I will tell you that that was so needed. And we both were like, why didn't we do this sooner? But at the same time, like God always has the right plan, but like, why didn't we do this sooner? And it was just such a sweet time just to talk. We really didn't spend a ton of time talking about business. We did sit down and do a little bit of work. We did talk a little bit, but it was really just like spending that quality time and getting to know each other off of social media and off of Zoom and like just being together. And it was just such a sweet time. So I highly recommend one-on-one, or if you could even do a really small sort of retreat, and maybe you have 2 of your coaches come stay with you at your house, maybe even just one night. You do a workout together, you go for a walk, you go to dinner, whatever, like just spend some quality time with your team. I think we can do that sooner rather than later in our businesses, it will make a difference. Unfortunately, Megan and I waited until 7.5 years, but I think like it will make such a difference if I can start doing that sooner with my newer coaches. So there's a couple first things that I think all of that, staying that connection, right? Staying connected, knowing what's going on in your coaches' lives, not just their businesses, but what's going on in their lives, and supporting them and praying for them and loving on them through that, I think really helps develop that culture. If that's what you want your culture to be, like that's so important to me. I want to know what's going on in their lives and not just what's going on in their business. On top of that, we have weekly team calls where we stay connected. Like I said, we have a mindset masterclass. We really try to lean in together, run groups together, especially launch groups with Fire and Flow coming. We'll run a big team launch with that together. And then we have some coaches who are running their own groups, but then some of us are running groups together. I feel like that goes through seasons. Like Lindsay and I were just talking and we're like, we need to come together. Currently, we are not running our groups together, but we are going to come together for the summer and have like a big, super fun summer group, right? For our clients, like, and get people really excited and stay in it through the summer, right? So excited for that. We have a virtual gym that we try really hard. There's some people who are way better at getting in there than others. It just depends on time. Again, with me being in Colorado and everyone else being in the Midwest, typically, a lot of them are done working out before I am even started. But we try really hard to connect in that virtual gym. There is a large crew who they've never even met in person. but they talk every day in the virtual gym. It's so cool. And I think that that helps to keep people around. If you are connected and you show up to the team calls, like for me, I never missed a team call ever as a newer coach. I still don't, but I never miss a team call. I never miss answering messages or like reading what's going on in the thread because I want to be connected. And I know that that's what's kept me around when times have gotten hard and I've gone through really, really low points and struggles, right? And so any way you can get people to be connected, that virtual gym, I think really keeps people around. I think the team thread really keeps people around, that one-on-one connection, involving them, helping run groups, even if maybe they're only getting one person in there a month, but helping them be involved and run those groups, I think is key. Also, I know we are going to be learning more about fit clubs on Saturday at the Diamond event. But I think that would be another way, to keep your clients around, right? To keep your clients excited, getting them trying new products and trying new workouts and feeling the community in another level, right? And not just on the surface level of social media, right? But getting them in person in a fit club, I think really can help sustain people and keep them going and keep them around. Again, as for coaches, having some duplicable, I never know how to say that word or which way it is. Systems, which we do, which Christina has created for us, which is so amazing. And so just keeping people, make sure coaches understand the system and understand how simple it is to get people started. And then I think a couple of things that are really important are just knowing that no one is you and no one's going to be exactly like you. You might be like me. I have to give grace a lot because I am like super self-disciplined, kind of type A, very emerald, and not everyone is. So just know that, and know that like someone who may not answer you right away, or someone who only works out 3 days a week, or someone who doesn't drink their shake every day, but they still show up, they are still here. And that is good. And just staying connected and keeping them uplifted, I think is really, really important, right? And then like just meet people where they're at and link arms with them. That kind of goes together, right? Like with what I was just saying. Know that no one's you and that they're going to be at a different place than you, always. Because we're all growing and changing at different rates all of the time. You are always growing and changing. And so is Susie over here. And sometimes Susie's going to be here, and sometimes you're going to be here. And sometimes you're going to be here, and Susie's going to be here. You can link together and help each other and support each other. Don't pull her along, but support her. Help her where she's at. And that's going to go much further than trying to drag her with you. Okay? I think those are some basic, they're basic, and they're probably things that hopefully you're doing, but if you're not, I hope that you will. Start some threads, start some small. I know something that holds me back is I think I need to do this big thing, this big team retreat. I have to have this big message thread. I need to have 20 diamonds. You don't. Show up for the people that are there. You have to show up how you want them to show up. We've all heard that a million times. Check yourself. Are you showing up the way you want your team to show up? Check it. And then I'm going to quickly go through. Allie Upham came up or created this. She was in a very low place. And like I said, I'll share the video with you. It was like the beginning of COVID. She had gone through all of her surgery, if you know her story, and she was just done. She says she hated her team. It was not the culture she wanted. And she was just in a really bad place. And so she had to create what she calls house rules. And I'm going to read you hers really quick. I'll read you hers, but I want you to go listen and really hear like deep of what her rules are. And then I really suggest that you create these rules for your team. I need to talk to Lindsay and do this for our team because I feel like it will be very beneficial and helpful as we are kind of in this rebuild. We're both in this rebuild. We're in this let's freaking go year. And we've got some great new coaches and we're super, super excited. And I feel like the culture, the people that are still here are the people who want to be here. And the people who kind of get it and they're the culture that we want. And you know what I mean? And so I think creating some house rules would be super helpful as we're in this like beginning phase of a rebuild. So her house rules were, number one, we're fully committed. As a team, we are fully committed. No matter what. There's no more just trying. We're committed. Number two, we are always growing. Like I just said, you are always growing. You're growing at a different rate than me. You're always growing and changing. There's always something happening in your life. There's always a struggle that you're going through. You're going to come out on the other side and learn a new lesson and be stronger because of it, right? But we are always growing. And she gave a couple book recommendations. Leaders, we need these. The first one I've read, the others I have not. Build to Last, which is that Keith Callahan's book? I think it is. I think it's the author. I know it was a Beachbody coach, but Build to Last. It's such a good book. Developing the Leader Within You, Laws of Leadership. And then this last one, she said her husband read, and then said, you need to read this. And it is You Win in the Locker Room First. You win in the locker room first. So I'm going to go get that book and start with that one because she just like really talked it up. Third rule is we create transformations. These are simple things. These are things that we already do, right? Number four, we have big-hearted generosity. Like, are you a team that you want to be known for like giving back? Giving without receiving or expecting anything in return? We should, right? Number five, we are courageously inviting. And if you need some prayer for courage, ask somebody for it. Ask somebody for it. Because we can't be a team of fearing the no and fearing the yes and not doing the inviting. You've got to do it. Remember I said the business stuff will come. It's in here. But I think there's a level of other stuff that comes first. Number six, we are constantly innovating. I think Beachbody does this so well, and we are always learning new things. But even within your team, you can be innovating. Maybe you start a text thread. Maybe you do message pods instead of groups. Like, what is going to work for you, your clients, your coaches, your team? Innovate. Get creative. Figure that out for yourself. Number seven, we keep it simple. This business is simple. That doesn't mean it's easy, but it is simple, right? Number eight is we are action oriented. And she suggested a podcast episode from the Life Coach School. It's episode 16, and it is about massive versus passive action. I know I need to listen to that. I'll just be honest. I need to listen to that. Number 9 is we are extraordinarily disciplined. This business takes no talent. Julie Vora says that all the time. This business takes no talent. None at all. You wake up, you drink a shake. Well, maybe you wake up, you drink Energize, you do a workout, you drink a shake, you read some personal development, and you share it on social media. Anyone could do that, but it takes discipline. And then number 10, we have contagious fun. We are a team who likes fun. Have you been to an event that Christina hosts? It's all about fun, music, dancing, fun, bright colors, excitement. Fun. Keep it fun. You want a culture that is excited and wants to stay there and be there. I think fun is a piece of that. I really do. I don't care what your personality is. It can't be serious all the time. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you got a few tips for sustainability. And I'm going to leave you with this quote that might hit some of you. It might make you look inward, but it is. If you focus on the fruit and ignore the root, the tree will die. So if you're focused on what everyone else is doing and getting upset, and you're forgetting to look at yourself, it's going to die. It starts with you. You've got to build it and they will come. I promise you that. So thank you again for understanding that I had to switch this to a video, but I hope to see some of you on Saturday at the Diamond event. And till next time.